Hi, session 12. Here we go. So we've got the recap, and then we're going to go on into function machines. It shouldn't be a really heavy session. We're going to end our new learning on something that is a really common question that is often answered incorrectly in its second part. So we're going to look at that, iron out those problems, and then that will be that. So this is your recap. Pause and press play when you're ready. Okay. Let's not go too far. There are your answers. Again, pause and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so we have lots and lots of our sort of basic skills are listed down here. So we've got our Chinese method, our negative numbers, we've got a BIDMAS with a sneaky little power in. So I had to do the bracket first, 6 take 3 is 3, and then I had to do the power. I in BIDMAS is indices, which is our little power, which created this. Timesing and dividing by our powers of 10, fraction of amount, divide by the bottom times by the top. And I kind of broke it out. I didn't like put all the negatives together and then all of this together. I kind of mixed it around so that you were constantly having to think about it. We've got our percentage question at the bottom where we times by the top and divide by the bottom. Our collecting like terms are in here. This one I thought was a bit more challenging because I put some powers in which you wouldn't have seen before. Okay, but remember, if you're writing everything out exactly the same, just replacing the letter with the number, then the maths appears, and then you can just produce the results following those rules of BIDMAS. So that's what's happening there. We've got the angles around a point of 360, and this one we needed to remember to add for perimeter, and multiply and divide because it's a triangle for the area, using that right angle to point to the edges. So hopefully that went really well. We're going to see all of this and everything that we have done over the course in the next 2 sessions, where I kind of chuck questions at you. There'll be some exam past paper questions as well. So there'll be a mix of all sorts, and there's going to be 2 of those so that we can really help consolidate all that new learning. So you're going to see plenty of this. Every single one will be modeled. It'll be just like the other consolidations that we've done. All right, so today we are looking at our function machines. All right, now these are questions where you are given a rule and you have to perform that rule on a number. And most people get that right. So I could give you a rule of times by 2, add 4. And then I tell you that a 5 is going in to the machine. Okay, so it's going into the machine. And to be fair, this is answered reasonably well by the majority of people. It's not something people get necessarily stuck with. So they take their 5, they know if 5 is going in, the first thing they hit is times 2. So they times by 2, which gives them 10. So I've got 10 at this stage. Now I've hit something that says add 4. So they add their 4, and out comes 14. Okay, and like I say, most people are pretty happy with, oops, it's going to rub everything out. I didn't know that. I might go a bit more careful. Yeah, most people are really happy with that. We'll do a couple just to make sure. And then there we go. Okay, so this time we're going to have, let's say, times 3 minus 2. Okay, and you're going to put 7 in. So just pause and have a go at that question for me. So I've got 7 hitting times 3 first, which is 21. And then the 21 hits take away 2, which is 19. 19 is my output. So if you got that right, let's go a bit bigger. If you got that right, well done. Okay, let's do one more. And then I'm going to show you the bit that people normally go wrong on, okay? Or they just get themselves a bit more muddled. So let's say this time I'm going to add 4, and then I'm going to times by 2, and 9 is going to go in. So have a go. So 9 is going to hit that plus 4, which is going to give me 13. 13 is going to hit the times by 2, which is going to give me 26. Okay, so hopefully that's going really, really well. What can sometimes go wrong is when you're being asked to find an input rather than an output. So let's say I've got the rule times 2, add 1. And if 5 is going in, we're very comfortable that 5 times 2, which is 10, is then added to the 1, which gives me my output of 11. But what if they give me the output? What if they say that the output is 21, let's say? Okay. What I've got to do to work this out is I want to undo. I want to go kind of backwards. There is a number that when I times by 2 and add 1, I get an answer of 21. So I'm going to go backwards and unpick that. Now, this is the best way to do it, okay? Let me rub this bit out so that we can do it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to say, okay, I've been given the output, that's 21, which means I'm going backwards. When I hit the add 1, because I'm going backwards, because I'm undoing, I want to do the opposite or the inverse, which is the mathematical word for what we're going to do. I want to do the opposite. So instead of adding 1, I want to take away 1. So 21 take 1 is 20. So at this stage, I'm at 20. I keep going and I hit a times 2, but I've got to do the opposite. I've got to undo a times. To undo a times, I do the opposite, which is divide. So at this stage, I'm going to divide by 2. So I've got 20 that I'm going to divide by 2, and that gives me 10. So when I've got to go the opposite way, I've just got to reverse everything. Okay, reverse everything. So let's do another one. Bum, ba, dum, bum, bum. Clean it all up. This time we'll have the rule minus 4 times 2. I'm going to tell you that the output was 32. And your job is to find the input. What was the number that went in that came out at 32? So we're going to go backwards. 32 is hitting times 2. Well, that's now going to become divide by 2. So 32 divided by 2, I've got to half that, which is going to give me 16. Keep going, and I hit minus 4, but I've got to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 4. So I add 4, and 16 plus 4 is 20. Okay, I hope we're getting the idea of this. We'll do another one. This time I want you to definitely pause if you didn't last time and have a go at this. So we're going to better give you some rules, hadn't we? Let's divide by 2 and add 5. Let's do that. And let's say our output is going to be 17. Okay, so pause and have a go. Okay, so we've got 17 hitting minus 5, the opposite. 17 take 5 is 12. Keep going, and I hit a divide, which now turns to times. So I'm going to times by 2, and 12 times 2 is 24. And that's pretty much it. So if you've been given an input, you just go forward and get an answer. If you've been given an output, you go backwards, changing to the opposite sign as you go. All right. So those are function machines. I've written you some questions which we want to be able to see. So let's pull that up. Let's get rid of me. Yeah, we can completely get rid of me because I'm off anyway. So how do I do it? There. Okay, those are your questions. And then you're going to scroll down for your answers, going backwards and forwards until you've completed everything. Okay. So here's your answers, and I'll see you next session. Well done today.